They come across a large chest and open it. To their surprise, the box is filled with a lot of toys and it feels like Christmas has come early. Zoe is drawn towards the Bumblebee toy and the Spell It kit while Franklin takes the Uncle Monkey toy and the helmet that changes his voice. Rose tells them to put the toys back but they don't listen. Suddenly, Rose feels a presence behind her. A young boy in a ghostly figure appears, but she doesn't turn around. Feeling very unsettled, Rose tells the children they need to leave the room. They quickly leave, taking the toys with them. David joins Alicia as she sulks in her bedroom. She has a bad attitude and he asks her to give them a chance and to enjoy their time in the mansion. David puts an old gaming console in her room so she can play with it. That night she is seen sitting on the floor happily playing games and eating popcorn. Suddenly, a spider appears and crawls into her popcorn without her knowing. She grabs another handful of popcorn and was very close to putting the spider into her mouth. Meanwhile, Zoe and Franklin are in their bedroom with Rose. Franklin still has the toy helmet over his head and he sees a red remote control car toy in the distance. When it starts moving, he follows it as it heads into Alicia's room. Franklin finds Alicia banging on the walls calling for help as she chokes on the spider in her mouth. Rose quickly rushes in and manages to save Alicia. We then see the video game screen showing an image of what looks like Alicia dead on the floor and Franklin standing over her. Later that evening, Hannah is too busy with work to read a bedtime story to the kids. Rose offers to tuck them into bed. While she is reading, the kids are curious and ask her what a children's home is. While explaining, Zoe asks her what happened to her baby and if she went into a home too. This brings up a sad memory for Rose. She reveals that her baby got really sick while carrying her and gave birth to a stillborn child. Next, we see David and Hannah downstairs discussing the work to be carried out on the house. David is worried that the house needs a lot of work done. Emmett explains to David that the third floor is badly in need of repair and too dangerous for anyone to use. Hannah assures David everything will be okay and to focus on getting it ready as they can for Christmas. In the next scene, Rose is asleep but disturbed by the sound of music coming from downstairs. Downstairs she finds candles lit all over the place and 4 children gathered around the tree, and a baby bassinet by the fireplace. She curiously walks towards the bassinet to find a baby under the blanket. Rose reaches out and as she pulls back the cover, she is horrified to see a baby with a disfigured face. She suddenly wakes up realizing it was just a bad dream. She decides to go and check in on the children. While they are fast asleep she gathers all the toys and puts them back in the toy box. As she is about to leave, she is freaked out when a toy dragon comes to life as it flies towards her and attacks her. When she tries to fight it off, she knocks a lantern on the floor which shatters into pieces. Hannah and David hear the loud noise and run upstairs. When they arrive, Rose lies to them and tells them it was just a bird, thinking they would think she is crazy if they knew the truth. Later that evening, Alicia joins Rose in her bedroom and they talk about the weird things they have seen since being in the mansion. Alicia decides to look up the history of the children's home on her phone but is unable to get connection. The next morning, Rose prepares the children's breakfast but notices they have taken out the toys again and are not responding to her. The children are behaving very strangely and without saying a word, they go upstairs to the playroom. Zoe and Frankie take the toy chest and drag it to the 3rd floor together. As they sit and stare, the Uncle Monkey suddenly pops out of the chest with a few of the other toys. The children can't believe what they are seeing while the toys put on a show for them. The children seem to enjoy themselves and sit back laughing. Back downstairs, Hannah looks up to see the chandelier shake and she rushes upstairs. She realizes the children are on the 3rd floor where they were not allowed. We then see Hannah's foot getting lodged in between the floorboards. Luckily for her, Rose saves her from behind. When they get downstairs, Hannah is very angry with the children and gives them a lecture for not listening to her. Emmett is told to board up the stairs to the 3rd floor to stop anyone going back up there. When he gets there, he hears a cry. He assumes that Zoe or Franklin have snuck back up there and rushes to check. He is careful when walking, worried about the floorboards giving way. From a distance, he sees a white sheet and the cry appears to be coming from behind it. As he gets closer, he realizes it is just the Bumblebee toy. When he takes a step back he falls crashing through the floor. A sharp piece of wood is seen going straight through his shoulder, impaling him. Upon hearing the noise, Hannah and David rush upstairs to find Emmett covered in blood and badly injured. Hannah then runs to get a saw to try cut the wood out of him. At the same time, we see Alicia playing a game which ends with a man dying from a stab wound. David decides to take Emmett to the hospital in the storm. While driving he notices the Bumblebee toy sitting in the passenger seat. David is really confused how it got there and knocks it onto the floor. He doesn't notice when the Bumblebee toy crawls to the back seat and smothers Emmett to death. When David tries to call out to Emmett, he doesn't respond. Suddenly, He is distracted when the bumblebee appears in front of him. It causes him to lose control of the car, which ends up crashing. Back at the mansion, Hannah confesses to Rose what she discovered about the children's hospital before buying it. A lady lost her child under the doctor's care there. She thought that the hospital was to blame, so she put a curse on the toys and sent the chest there. Hannah explains many years ago on Christmas Day, all the children in the home were found dead. The place has been closed ever since, and because of its bad reputation, no one was interested in buying it. In the next scene, Zoe and Frankie are fast asleep when they're disturbed by voices. The toys talk to the children, telling them it's Christmas Day. Zoe and Franklin jump up with joy and head downstairs. There is a dark change in the toys and they start throwing the Christmas gifts into the fire. Zoe and Franklin become possessed by the toys and they start controlling their every move. They pick up and start destroying all the toys. Hannah arrives into the room and can't believe what they have done. Upon Hannah arriving, the children return to their normal self and tell their mother that the toys made them do it. Hannah is furious with them and sends them up to their room. Hannah sees the Uncle Monkey toy. She picks it up and glares into its face. All of a sudden it comes alive. She gets frightened and quickly throws it into the fire. The monkey toy somehow escapes and flies around the room, setting everything it touches on fire. When Rose enters the room, she can't believe what is seeing and she helps Hannah put all the fires out. Out of nowhere, Hannah is grabbed and attacked by the Christmas tree, which has come to life. The evil spirits in the house have taken over the lights and tinsel, which try to suffocate Hannah. Just when she is about to killed, Alicia comes running in and cuts all the wires off her body, saving her just in time. Rose, Hannah and Alicia realize that the kids were telling the truth. The toys are cursed. They quickly rush upstairs to try and find the kids, but the door to the third floor slams shut. Hannah is able to get in through the hole in the floor. The children have been possessed by the toys and they are told to jump out of the window. Hannah is not able to get to the children as the floor collapses in front of her. Suddenly Rose comes through the other side of window and pushes them back inside the house. We then see the toys all gathering around. Alicia shouts out to Rose and tells her to throw over all the toys so she can lock them back inside the chest. The plan works and they trap toys apart from the Uncle Monkey toy. The monkey stabs Rose several times from behind, causing her to fall backwards out of the window to her death. In the next scene, we see David walking towards the house. He somehow miraculously survived the car crash. David sees his family crying and is shocked to see Rose dead on the floor. They all decide to destroy the chest of toys by setting it on fire, hoping that all evil spirits are also destroyed. On Christmas morning, the family leave the mansion to head home. In the last scene, Rose's ghost is seen sitting around a Christmas tree reading a story to all the children that died in the house, showing that all the dead children are finally at peace, and the movie ends there. You guys are awesome if you have made it this far in the video. If you want to see more of such movie recaps, hit the subscribe button to become part of our movie family.